one thing I gathered from you, knowing you for a little bit and talking to you, and then what you mentioned on your call is playing to your strengths. And you even mentioned at the beginning, like you could probably be doing something in a bunch of different industries. It's great that real estate's, profitable, but your kind of sweet spot skill set is maybe mostly in organization, systems, processes, automation. How do you have Home Havens running behind the scenes?
Yeah. Okay. I'll give it all away. I'm an open book about that.
I love it. I love it.
So first, I want to say this comment though. There is so much power in building a business in real estate. And we've learned that recently with financing. And so I would encourage you, whatever you're doing, if you're flipping, if you are a commercial guy, whatever, build a business in it that has systems and automations and potentially employees, maybe not, just depends on your business. Because I see some flippers that flip for 5 years and then they walk away. They can't sell their flipping company. They can't do anything with it. They can't even get financing with it. But if you build a business, then it's amazing the things you can do. So we've had the opportunity. We actually kind of did it on accident. It was probably Aaron's Kool-Aid that I just didn't realize. But back end. Okay, so we use a product. It's called smartbnb.io, and Aaron will drop all these links in the chat.
Cool.
SmartBNB does all of our messaging automation. They're the best in the industry, and you can contact them directly to get features added, which is something I always look for companies that are still innovating.
Mm-hmm.
So we send 7 messages, a minimum of 7 messages to every single person who stays in any of our properties. And that is a massive ton of communication, and that's at a bare minimum. I have an assistant. Her name is Eva. She's great. She's local, but she can run out to properties. We can meet for in-person training, which I like, but she does a lot of VA type things for us. We do photography in-house because that's the only way we've been able to get the consistency we need. And we hired a professional photographer and bought equipment, and we only know how to do one thing. We know how to take pictures for short-term rentals and pictures of properties, and that's it.
Yeah.
I have a remote editor in Vietnam who does all of our photo editing. We have 8 cleaning companies that we work with. We work with bigger companies, but not too big that they're more pricey, like medium-sized ones where if somebody goes on vacation, they can still cover all the cleanings. And
don't lose your train of thought, but I'm guessing I know the answer, but just to clarify, why do you have 8?
Zones.
Zones,
so
okay.
We zone all of our maintenance. So we manage from St. George to the top of Logan. And so I can't have somebody from Salt Lake driving to Logan. It's too expensive. And so we zone out all of our units. And same with maintenance. So we have zones for maintenance. So I've got a handyman in Salt Lake and one in Utah County, and we zone everything out.
Okay.
Other automation tasks, we use Asana for me to communicate with my assistant, with Eva. So it's just a task management system. I think you use Asana too. I've at least seen you.
Yeah. Yep.
We use Google Voice Plus or whatever as our phone system. So we have a 24-hour hotline.
So what does that do? I'm familiar with Google Voice, but what's Google Voice Plus?
And it might even be called Plus anymore, but it just allows you some other features. So you can transfer a call. So if your assistant picks up a call and it has to go to you, she can just pop it over to you and transfer a call. So it's just a really good, cheap hotline software, if you will.
Okay.
So, because most people in real estate are able to keep their staff small, so they don't need a massive constant contact kind of software. So that one's really great for small phone needs. You can attach multiple numbers for it. You can schedule texts. We use Price Labs is the pricing software that we use that we really like. And that does a lot of the automation as far as scrapes all of the data from Airbnb and VRBO every day. So we can see our competition and you can see a massive amount of data that way.
If you're not doing that as a sole operator, that's going to cover your guys' fee in a heartbeat just by pricing things a little bit better, right? I mean, that's super smart. I love that.
Totally. I just talked to somebody who has a property in St. George and we're able to make him what he's making without him having to do any of the cleanings or messaging anyone touching it immediately. And that's
so
great.
Cool.
So,
okay. So left off on Price Labs, I kind of cut you off. So Price Labs
Yeah.
help scrape your data, you know, like
Mhm.
scour your competition. And I love that it integrates with like airlines and stuff like that. So you can kind of see, and then what do you, is there also something that will track like, and it's different these days, right? But convention events and
Yep.
stuff so then that builds into your pricing model as far as with Price Labs and stuff like that?
Yep, so Price Lab's really good at that. There's a variety of ways they do that. They watch for all the events and everything. But they also, as events have been canceled, I've just been so impressed at what they've done. And they take the neighborhood occupancies. They say, okay, there was 8 places in the neighborhood available yesterday. 2 of them got booked. So we're going to up your price because now there's less availability and yours is the cutest remaining, and just so much that helps us. And again, this is more, Aaron did pricing analytics in college, but he's helped me set it up, and now we can just run it and it runs great. So Price Labs is probably the #1 help. And then we do make manual adjustments for certain events and schedulings, and especially after COVID where we had to adjust a little bit more. But if you're looking for a good place to start, Price Labs is great.